Chapter 5, Astigmatism and Injustice. In a tragic twist of fate, the assailant, consumed by rage and confusion, mistook Emma for Lily. In an instant, a gunshot shattered the chaotic atmosphere, and the world seemed to freeze as Sarah watched her sister collapse to the ground, sacrificing herself to protect Lily. Sarah's gaze shifted from Lily to Emma, her heart heavy with grief, anxiety, and resentment. "It's your fault, Lily. We could have prevented this. You pushed her to the gunshot. You attract misfortune and bad luck. You may be safe now, but my sister is dying." Lily desperately tried to explain and help, but Sarah fiercely intervened. "Don't you dare lay your hands on her. Help!" Sarah cried out, seeking assistance from the onlookers. Together, the shattered yet resilient group rallied the community for aid. They swiftly transported Emma to a nearby medical facility where she received urgent care. News of the incident spread rapidly, and the village united in support of the Daniel family, offering prayers and assistance. "I am sorry to inform you, but Emma's health has deteriorated, ultimately leading to her untimely death." One of the doctor delivered the tragic words which sent shockwaves through the community, and in their grief, Sarah's family turned their accusing eyes toward Lily. Their pain transformed into anger. "Lily is the cause of this devastating outcome," Sarah's mother said amidst the grief entangled in a bewildering and terrifying ordeal. As the village authorities were summoned to restore order, Lily and her family found themselves dragged into court, burdened by guilt, confusion, and sorrow. Inside the courtroom, emotions ran high. Sarah's once united and strong family now stood divided by grief and the legal proceedings. The weight of the tragedy burdened their every step, their faces etched with agony and despair. Each family member carried the heavy burden of guilt, questioning their own actions and decisions that had led them to this dreadful moment. Lily's family clung to their faith, finding solace in their belief in justice and truth. Yet, the road ahead seemed impossibly long, as their spirits wavered under the weight of doubt and the prevailing distrust in the village. After what felt like an eternity, the judge returned to the courtroom, their expression solemn and grave. An air of anticipation permeated the room as all eyes fixed upon the figure seated in the high seat of authority. The judge's voice resonated through the silence as they pronounced the verdict that would shape the lives of both families.
"The court has meticulously examined the evidence and testimonies presented before us," the judge began, their words hanging heavily in the air. "While we cannot undo the tragedy that unfolded in the market on that fateful day, it is our duty to determine culpability."
Sarah's family held their breath, their hands clasped tightly together, seeking strength in their unity. Lily's family, seated nearby, wore expressions etched with pain, their eyes red from endless tears. The judge continued, their voice carrying the weight of the moment.
"After careful consideration, the court finds that the actions taken by Lily were a result of her fear for her own safety and the safety of others present. The court acknowledges the immense pressure and chaos that prevailed in the market, and it is evident that Lily's actions were driven by instinct and a desire to protect." The judge's voice reverberated through the room once more, addressing the consequences of the tragic events. A collective sigh of relief swept through Sarah's family, mingled with sorrow for the loss they all had suffered. Lily's family, however, stared at the floor, their anguish apparent as the judge's words unfolded. "Nevertheless, Lily is guilty of deaths by negligence, thus she is sentenced to 1 year imprisonment." The weight of the judgment settled heavily upon Sarah's family and Lily's family alike, casting a dark shadow over their already shattered hearts. Peter's visit. Peter stood before the cold, unforgiving bars that separated him from Lily. His heart felt heavy with conflicting emotions as he struggled to find the right words to convey the turmoil within him. The sterile surroundings of the prison seemed to amplify the intensity of his emotions, casting a stark contrast to the love and warmth they had once shared.
Lily's eyes searched his face, apprehension etched across her features. She knew that their relationship had been strained since her incarceration, but she had hoped that Peter would find a way to stand by her side during this difficult time. As she waited for him to speak, her heart clenched with anticipation.
Finally, Peter took a deep breath, his voice filled with a mixture of grief and frustration. Lily, I can't deny the pain and confusion that your actions have caused. I never imagined that our journey would lead us here, in this place. Tears welled up in Lily's eyes as she listened, her heart breaking with every word. She had anticipated the difficulties of being apart, but she had held on to the hope that Peter's love would withstand the challenges they faced. Peter continued, his voice trembling with the weight of his emotions. I want you to know that my love for you hasn't diminished. But the reality is, I'm struggling to reconcile the person I fell in love with, the person I thought I knew, with the actions that led to your imprisonment.
Lily's breath hitched as she tried to find the strength to respond. Peter, I made a terrible mistake, and I regret it every single day. I'm doing everything I can to learn from it and to change, but I understand if you can't forgive me. Peter's expression softened, his love for Lily battling with his pain. He reached out, his hand resting against the cold bars that separated them. Lily, I see your remorse, and I believe in your capacity to change. But the truth is, this situation has taken a toll on both of us. I never envisioned myself in a relationship with a convict. It's tearing me apart. Tears streamed down Lily's face as she struggled to comprehend the magnitude of Peter's words. Her heart ached with a sense of loss, knowing that her actions had irrevocably changed the course of their relationship. She knew that she couldn't fault him for his feelings, even as they shattered her own hopes and dreams. In the midst of their pain, Peter's voice softened, his tone filled with a mix of sorrow and compassion. Lily, I need time to process everything. I don't want to make any hasty decisions, but I also can't deny the emotional toll this has taken on both of us. We both deserve to find happiness and peace. Lily nodded, her voice choked with emotion. I understand, Peter. I never wanted to bring you down with me. If it's best for both of us to part ways, I'll accept it. I just hope that someday you can find it in your heart to forgive me.
Peter's eyes glistened with unshed tears as he reached out and gently wiped a tear from Lily's cheek. I don't know what the future holds, Lily, but please know that I still care about you deeply. Regardless of what happens, I want you to find a path of redemption and healing. They stood there, their hearts heavy with unspoken words and the pain of uncertainty. In that moment, they shared a bittersweet embrace through the prison bars, their love mingling with the weight of their circumstances. The road ahead was uncertain, but they both knew that they had to navigate it individually, seeking solace and growth in their own ways.
To be continued, stay tuned for more. Subscribe, follow, and like to keep updated. For additional content, explore Kegia3.com.